Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
Good morning. I'll tell you, your neighbors, you loan them a few thousand bombs and fighter bombers, and what do? Right?
They get crappy.
Complain about it.
Yep.
Right? They get all snippy.
He's clearly thrown in, with obviously a Hail Mary that Trump is going to win. Right? I mean, he's just, he's always been so in league with the right wing here. But this was, first of all, as you know, this has really hurt Biden politically to stand with Israel the way he has. But, but as I was saying, Netanyahu knows it's Republicans that were holding up aid to Ukraine and Israel. And he blames Biden. Just your thoughts on that.
Sure. Well, I mean, he knows when to stick the shiv in. And you're absolutely right. I mean, I think the most recent polls where they're talking about supposedly this enormous shift in black popularity to Trump and all of these ridiculous mobile phone polls and landline polls that no one answers has given Netanyahu the belief that he is going to win this, that Trump's going to win this election. Yeah. I'll tell you straight up. I mean, I'm in a lot of national security groups. I'm with a lot of groups that are really close to the administration and, ex-generals, ex-admirals, things like that. And we're like, what the heck is Netanyahu talking about? The F-15s that we've delayed would have taken like 3 to 5 years to deliver.
Yeah.
Right? The 2,000-pound laser-guided bombs and the 500-pound bombs were their war stocks, which already exist, by the way, in Israel, right? These are things that we keep in Israel, that they wouldn't be used on Gaza. But in a full-scale war with Syria, Lebanon, the way things are looking in the north, we're not going to restrict anything. This played strictly to Fox News and OAN and Newsmax to say Biden's keeping weapons from us because he believes there's a section of the Jewish population in the U.S. that now is going to start talking about Biden the way that a lot of pro-Palestine people are. Traitor, blah, blah, blah. He did this deliberately.
Yeah, and by the way, Malcolm, as we've talked about many times, the politics all over the place on this, but I agree with Senator Bernie Sanders on this one. He tore into Netanyahu, accused him of being beholden to extreme racists in his, obviously country. Netanyahu made remarks criticizing the U.S. for not providing Israel with additional weapons to use. Bernie said virtually everyone recognizes Israel's right to defend itself from terrorism, responded to the horrific October 7th Hamas attack that killed 1,200 innocent Israelis, took hundreds of hostages, but the Israeli government did not and does not have the right to go to war against the entire Palestinian people. Yet that's exactly what happened. But it's just so infuriating that Netanyahu knows it was Republicans, that were behind this. He is obviously all in, as is. I mean, I don't know what your take was on seeing Putin and Kim Jong-un meeting, right? I mean, this is the thing you and I always talk about is Donald Trump. I don't know whether, can you explain this to me, Malcolm? Is he just because he's a traitor that he loves our enemies so much and hates our friends? Okay, sorry. I'm sputtering.
How about yes?
Yeah, I mean, so
Jesus Christ, how many books do I have to write? I am not joking. Almost 1 million words trying to warn people that Donald Trump is a traitor who looks out strictly for himself. He does not care about America. He does not care about American foreign policy. He doesn't care about you or your family. He cares about money. This is the rise of the global oligarchy, and he intends to be the first American dictator.
Yeah. I mean,
he wants to party with those guys, by the way. He's upset that he's not drinking hors d'oeuvres in Pyongyang.
Oh, he's so jealous. He's so jealous, Malcolm. I mean, Putin and Kim Jong-un signed a partnership that includes a vow of mutual aid if either country is attacked during a Pyongyang summit. It becomes amid growing concerns over an arms arrangement in which the country provides Moscow with badly needed munitions for its war in Ukraine in exchange for economic assistance and technology transfers that could enhance the threat posed by Kim's nuclear weapons and missile programs. That is nothing but win-win for them, lose-lose for the United States. Putin thanked Kim for North Korea's support for the war in Ukraine. Part of what he said was the fight against the imperialistic hegemonic policies of the U.S. and its satellites against the Russian Federation. Oh my God. It's a summit of America's enemies, right?
It is. And we have two factions in the United States that, first you have the Trump faction, who is, when they read communiques like that, he is just like, why wasn't I invited?
Yeah.
He's against the hegemony of the United States when it involves brown people, women, and having rights. He's all for this, this alliance to a certain extent, because this is what I wrote in the book Plot to Destroy Democracy. It is an axis of autocrats.
Yeah.
In what is it, 120? I don't remember how many days we have till the election. The United States could be in this alliance. That's not a joke. He was deep with Kim Jong-un. He believes in Putin. He has already sworn to cut off every penny to Ukraine, and he said he's going to do it before he gets sworn into the Oval Office, which means in a lame duck Congress, he intends to block all these funds. This is the United States steering into a straight-up oligarch, money-run dictatorship. And I've got Americans here. Okay, it's my McShouty moment. All right, I've got Americans here who are all complaining about Biden. All right, and the only choices in this election, all right, is vanilla ice cream or a giant honking steaming plate of poop with a cherry on top, and that cherry's in the form of tax cuts for billionaires to make them trillionaires, which is why Elon Musk is on board and everyone else is on board. So if all of you single-issue voters here, this is now me doing my Lewis Black, right? Get your little acts together. Dang.
Forget it. He's rolling.
He's rolling, exactly.
I mean, Malcolm, I know. I was just thinking when you were saying all this, I didn't agree with hardly anything George W. Bush did, but he didn't want to be in the axis of evil. You're right. Donald Trump wants to be in this axis of our enemies against our friends. I saved Bill Madden for you. Tweeted, Russian bots are being exposed on Twitter. These bots are verified, which shows the extent that Putin and Russia are willing to go to in an attempt to help rig the 2024 election for Comrade Trump. The Kremlin is paying for these accounts. I mean, we knew this. We knew that the stakes have never been higher for Putin, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, bots are everywhere. They're rife. But let me tell you something I think is a lot more insidious. In the last week, after Elon Musk held his summit for all the uber rich that were supposed to be supporting Trump, the algorithm changed. I'm getting inundated with right-wing propaganda. I'm blocked Jack Posobiec. It got unblocked and it's now showing up on my feed. All of these changes, like not knowing who liked what, right? Because he went and, like some Japanese anime porn or something. Elon Musk has made it. That's not a joke. That's what he did. He got caught out liking something that was naughty. And this guy has now made Twitter a weapon system against democracy. And, the only reason I'm not quitting is because I'm going to use that weapon against them.
Me too.
Till they ban me and they block me.
Yeah.
Everyone here has to understand. Full-scale battle stations we have only this summer to stop this hemorrhage, which means you need to have talks with your friends, your families, everybody who thinks that they're going to vote for RFK Jr., the guy with brain worms and steroids, in order to throw this election to Trump. This is your last chance. Yeah. This is your last chance.
Yeah. Malcolm, let me get your take on, obviously foreign interference, but, now AI and now these, what they're calling, cheap fakes, not just deep fakes. I don't know if you've been listening, but so Jody and I got to go to the Biden-Obama fundraiser here in LA this past Saturday with Julia Roberts and George Clooney and Jimmy Kimmel. It was fantastic. So we were there, Malcolm. We saw with our eyes that, Obama and Biden, who are good friends, were getting a standing ovation at the end. They were laughing. Obama puts his arm around him. They walk off stage together. Well, you saw they used that all over the right wing and whatever, that Biden was confused and had to be helped off stage by Obama, didn't know where he was. You saw the one with the paratrooper, that he's congratulating the paratrooper, and they made it look like there was no one there because of the angle, the angle of the camera they use. How do we combat that?
Well, it's simple. There's a very simple way of combating it. All right. Every damn one of you's got to get McShouty now. All right. Yeah. You find it. You retweet it and you mock it relentlessly. This is the only thing the right wing cannot stand, when they are called out. And I don't mean if you see one person do it, you retweet it or you put it up on Instagram. Do something unique. All of you need to become Rocky Mountain Mike here. Just retweet it and go, this is the lamest thing I've ever seen. You suck at this, right? My famous phrase that is still to this day upsets Ben Shapiro, right? When you call them out on their tactics, they don't like it one bit. And every one of us has, that saying that Zelensky said, every day, just do one thing for Ukraine, even if it means just talking to a friend or saying Slava Ukraini. Well, let's apply that to the United States.
Yeah.
Every day, you need to do something to save our democracy, to make sure that Biden-Harris ticket wins, and that you are informing people or doing combat with this right-wing machine, which is designed to destroy us. This guy is talking about executing his enemies. It's not a joke. He always says the quiet parts out loud. It's a stream of his own personal consciousness. Every one of you is now tasked to do something about this.
Yeah. Well, and, we always talk about alpha liberals, that we need more alpha liberals. You retweeted James Love. He said, everyone on the left is writing books about the divisions in our society that no one on the right reads. The right is producing perfidiously edited, misleading videos and tabloid articles that take 10 seconds to absorb and throwing them into an echo chamber. Chris Lavoie yesterday suggested that we cheat just like they do, to which I said, the problem is we don't need to do, what do you call it, clean, what are they called?
Clean fakes.
Cheap fakes or whatever of
fakes.
Donald Trump. You can take almost any video of him making no effing sense and being confused, so I don't know.
Why aren't we using that more?
But we are. Those clips are everywhere.
We don't have to do cheap fakes. It's the Saturday Night Live strategy.
Right.
Just play exactly what they say.
Yeah, that's right. The Biden campaign is using actual footage of Trump and just like,
why not?
I'm Joe Biden. I approve this message.
Why not take it a step further and make cheap fakes out of these things? Why not?
What do you mean?
To.
Thank you.
You don't have to. You don't have to do a dang thing. All you have to do is use whatever voice that you have and propagate the truth.
Thank you.
And just get out there. Listen, there's one of the biggest things that was said. I've been watching Morning Joe all week from up here in lovely Canada. And here's what I'm hearing. The economy's awful. It's terrible. Blacks are doing awful. Every word of that's a lie. And the first word that comes out of your mouth should be, that is a lie. You are an idiot.
Yeah.
This is the greatest economy in the last 50 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Since Bill Clinton, this is the greatest economy.
Yeah.
And that right there excites doubt in the minds of those people.
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.